Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most recent rumors in the NBA, as today was announced by Bleacher Report and The Athletic that the Indiana Pacers have explored trade options to land Raptors young star OG Anunoby, who is one of the hottest players in potential trade talks this summer, alongside guys like Bradley Beal. And as much as you hear trade talks about Jaylen Brown, I don't think Jaylen Brown's going to be traded. But OG Anunoby is one of the biggest potential, players to maybe be traded this offseason. But the asking price of OG Anunoby is very high this offseason, as the Raptors have a set price of some decent players and decent first-round picks back for him as well. And it was announced that the Pacers have explored trade options for OG Anunoby and have talked to the Raptors about a potential trade to land OG Anunoby. And along with this report, it also did say that the Pacers are also interested in free agent Grant Williams in the free agency as well, Boston Celtics power forward, which just wanted to note that. I'm not going to be talking about Grant Williams in this video, but just wanted to note that was also in the report. But I'm going to talk about what a OG Anunoby trade to the Indiana Pacers would look like. Let's go over it. So here's the trade I have going down that would send OG Anunoby to the Toronto Raptors. I mean, to the Toronto Raptors, to the Indiana Pacers. So the trade to land OG in Indiana would be a trade that would have 4 players involved, 2 players on each side, and 3 draft picks going to the Toronto Raptors. So let's go over it. So here's what the Indiana Pacers would be receiving. Obviously, the Pacers would be receiving OG Anunoby, but OG Anunoby would not be going to the Pacers alone. He would be going to the Pacers alongside Thaddeus Young, a power forward who has played in Indiana before. Spent a couple years in Indiana, maybe more. I mean, I remember he was there in 2017, at least 2016, 17, 2018, 19, 2017, 18 season, maybe the 2019-20 season. I can't really remember if he was there then. It might have been there before. That's just as far as I remember. I do know he was on that roster in 26-17 season. He's a little bit older, has a deep contract. The Raptors are going to want to move him. He doesn't do much production either. I think the Pacers would maybe want him for off the bench, add in some veteran experience. It's a former player in the organization. I don't know. I feel like the Pacers wouldn't mind adding back in Thaddeus Young, even if he's not going to play much at all, even if he's maybe not going to stay on the roster. Maybe he gets waived or bought out. But I think the Pacers could be willing to have a reunion with Thaddeus Young. Maybe it's just a contract filler, and Thaddeus and the Raptors are just trying to get his contract off their hands, and then the Pacers end up waiving or buying him out. But I do think that ultimately that the Pacers possibly could keep Thaddeus Young. So OG Anunoby and Thaddeus Young end up going to the Indiana Pacers, and in return, 2 players and 3 picks go to the Raptors. Now, one of the top teams that has been reported to potentially land Miles Turner this summer, listed of multiple teams that are going to be interested in him, is the Toronto Raptors. And if the Pacers are going to want to have a trade for OG Anunoby, I feel as that if there's going to be a trade to get OG to the Pacers, the Raptors are not going to want to do any deal with the Pacers that's sending OG to Indiana that does not have Miles Turner involved. I think in this trade, Miles Turner would be going to the Toronto Raptors, averaged 18 points per game this season with 7.5 rebounds per game and 2.3 blocks per game. Also shot 37% from 3 and averaged almost 2 assists per game. Excellent center, one of the best centers in the league. obviously you got Jokic, you have Embiid, you have Karl Anthony Towns, and you got a couple other guys center wise. But I think Turner is maybe a top 7, top 5 best center in the NBA with how good he is defensively with shot blocking, and not only shot blocking but rebounding. He is an excellent rebounder. I know he only averaged 7.5 rebounds per game last season, but he's a guy who can easily go get you 20 rebounds a night. I mean, not every night, but he's one of those guys in the NBA that will get you, who could get you 20 rebounds, consecutive games. He is a beast, not only blocking shots, but rebounding, and not only blocking shots and rebounding, scoring as well. And his 3-point game has evolved as well, shooting 37% from 3 this season. So Miles Turner would be heading to the Toronto Raptors, and along with Miles Turner, so would Chris Duarte, who nice small forward / shooting guard, averaged 7.9 points per game this year on the Pacers. In his rookie season, though, he played way better in his rookie season in 21-22, averaged 13.5 points per game in his rookie season. And then also the Raptors would receive the 26th, 29th, and 32nd overall pick in this year's draft that the Pacers got from the Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon trades. So that is the Cavaliers and Celtics picks, first-round picks right there. So full trade, the Pacers get OG Anunoby and Thaddeus Young, and then the Raptors get Miles Turner, Chris Duarte, the 26th, 29th, and 32nd overall pick. I feel like this is a little bit of an overtrade for OG Anunoby. I feel like it's pretty fair. I'm not saying the Raptors would do straight up OG Anunoby for Miles Turner, but both are really solid players. Miles averaged more than OG. OG only averaged 17 points per game with 5 rebounds per game, but it is his defense that is, the big addition. And he shoots 38% from 3. And I think he would, be scoring way more on the Indiana Pacers. I think you're looking at him maybe averaging around 20 to 24 points per game on the Indiana Pacers. There's way more, good scorers on the Raptors than there are the Pacers. Yes, you got Halliburton and stuff on the Pacers and Majerin, but if you think about it, the Raptors last season, they had Fred VanVleet, who averaged 19 points per game. Siakam, I think, averaged around 23, 24 points per game. Yeah, Siakam averaged 24 points per game. Gary Trent Jr., I think, averaged around 15 points per game. Scotty Barnes, they have a lot of scoring options in Toronto, to the point where OG is, I think he'll average way more in Indiana, because you got to view the factor is that not only did OG have some injury problems last season, but the Raptors have a lot of scorers, to the point where they really didn't need OG to score a lot, as I think the Pacers would need him to, because the Raptors last season had Scotty Barnes, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Pascal Siakam. So, and then they had OG Anunoby as well, and then they added in eventually they added in Jakob Poeltl. So, that was a lot of scoring that Toronto had last season. They weren't that great with it, but they had a lot of scoring between VanVleet, Trent, OG, Pascal, Jakob Poeltl, and Scotty Barnes. But user thoughts, I think that I don't know who says no in this trade. I would think if anybody's going to say no in this trade, it is probably the Indiana Pacers, because the Indiana Pacers are giving up a lot for OG Anunoby. I don't think the Raptors would say no, even though the Raptors have listed, a heavy price tag for OG Anunoby. They are getting back Miles Turner, a player they are very interested in. Also, they kind of need some help at the guard position. Chris Duarte has a very bright future. They're also getting, I know it's late first-round picks, but they're getting 2 first-round picks, plus alongside 2 first-round picks, they're getting the 32nd overall pick, which if you draft well, which Masai Ujiri is definitely a really solid GM. So in that case, if you think about it, if you really think about it, if they can make the right draft pick at 32, you could get another first-round talent. So you're getting 2 late first-round picks with 26 and 29 alongside the second pick in the second round, which if you draft well, someone falls to you at 32, it's like getting another first-round talent. and then Chris Duarte and Miles Turner, and you're giving up OG Anunoby and Thaddeus Young. You're getting Thaddeus Young's contract is off your hands, and you lose a talent like OG Anunoby, who is going to be a free agent next summer. Potentially is going to be a free agent next summer. So honestly, in my opinion, I don't see the Raptors saying no, and I don't really see the Pacers saying no either. But that is my opinion. But you guys have your thoughts on the potential trade? That's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, and peace out.